Hello guys, today I'll do an episode about our perceived limitations and some of the misunderstandings that dyslexia can bring to us, and some things that we just need to understand and be aware of to not limit ourselves. So guys, I hope you enjoy today's episode. So the big question is this: how can dyslexics like us create a place, a community, a tribe where people at any stage of life can come and solve any challenge, amplify their strengths, and ultimately help them become who they were meant to be, or in other words, conquer their dyslexia? That is the question, and this show is the answer. My name's Theo Goff, and welcome to the Conquering Dyslexia podcast. Hello guys, what's happening? Today I want to do an episode. I'm quite looking forward to it, and it's just talking about what are our limitations. I mean, what are things that when we work towards it and we keep on working, what are the things that this barrier that meaning we can't go any more forward or just stops us in learning? You may think of dyslexia, you mean the typical things you think of is reading and writing, and what are the barriers for stopping us reading and writing it, and what are the real limitations of things that limit us? Is there only a certain speed we can learn at? Obviously dyslexia comes in all forms of shapes and sizes and degrees. Some people can have it a lot more severe, other people can have it a lot more varied and mild, that's what I mean. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but one is easier than the other. They show up in different ways. And what I'm saying with limitations is when we work towards something and realize there's a barrier, it's stopping us moving any forward. For someone who could be a lot more severe dyslexia, having something stopping them moving forward, like their reading or their writing, or a limitation on how fast they can learn. Or not even focus on reading and writing, other problems like organisation, time management, remembering facts, figures, information. Then you can go on to other things like socially, social anxiety, confidence, understanding people, being social, all this other stuff. And we want to see, what are the actual limitations? And in this episode, I really want to clarify the real limitations that us with dyslexia have, that's stopping us moving forward in all these different ways, and the limitations that we don't have that sometimes we can put on ourselves. You mean we can self-describe or self-diagnose this as a real limitations for our life? I know one of my biggest ones was the most accurate way of saying it is a return on investment of working on my English, because I think this is a very, very common one that us with dyslexia have, is that we work on English when we're in the past, when we're in school, and we fail. Inevitably we fail again and again and again, and it's frustrating, and it's annoying, and we work hard on it and we fail again, and then we decide in our mind or our subconscious or ourselves, we decide it's not worth trying anymore. Because the more we try, the more we fail, and the more we fail, the more we feel bad about ourselves and try and make sense of this. So we stop trying and start focusing on other areas, try and look for avoidance strategies rather than going things head first. And doing that often can lead with beliefs that we have, that I can't learn English, or I can't read, or I can't write, or I can't do these things. And later in life, we would try maybe to do these things, and that belief would crop back up and would stop us improving really our abilities. It's a big thing, stops us improving our abilities, and it gets to where trying to read something off the board, or trying to find directions for a certain place, or remember people's names, or maybe go to a social gathering. All these things that can creep up and really limit us because we created a belief in the past of why we couldn't do it, and because we hadn't practiced that muscle of doing that activity, of gaining that skill. Later in life it can be a real limitation in us, because that happens very, very common. And for me it was English. For me, I was at my sixth form, and I remember the teacher saying, you're going to have to work on your English to do this thing called a GCSE English. like exam. I laughed at them, like, that's not going to happen. It's useless, it's not working. Sorry guys if you hear any background noise. I'm trying to go from far away from it as I can and have Wi-Fi. I'm at school at the moment in Thailand doing little videos of people walking around and making noises. Anyway, I had this belief in Thailand in sixth form about my English ability. That it's not worth improving it. That I spent 8 years of my life, the best help and support, improving it, and I only improved it millimetres each year. So trying to spend any more time and effort on it would be wasted. Maybe I might learn something today and forget it tomorrow, because that happens a lot. For us, no use doing it. But at the same time, I also done other things that I didn't really think was I could do. Like I became confident. I became very social. I became very outgoing. Now, that's not my core personality, but it's who I made myself to be because I worked on it a lot. And I understood, what I like to say, I understood how life worked more. But really what I'm saying is I understood sort of, how life worked, like how things come to be. How does, you mean like shy people come to be shy? How does people who not work as hard come to do that? Does that make sense? Like how people come, it's like about your beliefs, and it's about a lot of things that happen to you and what you decide that to make that mean. And it's not saying that we're all born with 100% blank slates. It's like 50-50 nature and nurture. But it's about really using as much as you can with the nurture side of things, really changing it as much as possible. And I remember being there in this office, in this room, with the head of English, telling me I got to try harder on my English ability, and I was saying, no, I don't. You don't understand. It's going to be useless. And I remember being in that room and then realizing it, that oh my God, what if I could improve it? Because I realized I was holding myself back. It wasn't my dyslexia, it was me. It was my decisions I've made for myself. And because I made these decisions, it made me act in a certain way. Because I made these assumptions, these are opinions about myself, made me act in a certain way. And then I really got to changing those opinions, those beliefs about myself. And the way I decided to do it was like, what if I could improve it? What if I give it everything I got in the next year? What would happen then? And my truth answer was, I don't know what would happen. So I decided to give it every little thing I got, everything I got to improve my English. And I worked on it hard, and yes, I did improve my English, but not little bits. In fact, I've improved my English 5 times more in 1 year, having little to no help compared to what I was used to in the 8 years of being at my dyslexic school. Then I realised I could do it, I could improve my English. And it kind of like, that's the reason why I sent me on this journey of wanting to help people with dyslexia. Because I've always believed in my life that we have these set limitations of us, that our dyslexia kind of limits us in these ways, and you won't be able to improve this, or it'll be extremely hard to improve that, and we'll always be limited in a certain way, and think it will always hold us back in a certain way. And what I realised is the truth is that how much we are holding ourselves back, how much we are responsible of keeping ourselves from the next level, from keeping ourselves from improving it. And so many times we have these feelings of, I can't do this, I'm not this sort of person, I can't become more confident, I can't get that job, the world is set up against us. And to answer the question, how does dyslexia limit us? It doesn't. It does not limit us at all. Not one little bit. It shapes us, it molds us, which means molds us different than people who are more neurotypical, but doesn't limit us. It doesn't make us bad to communicate, it doesn't make us stop getting a job, it doesn't make us fail at work, it doesn't make us not be able to write an essay. It affects the way we learn and the way we process and take in information. And with this, we've got to do two things. We've got to, one, understand how we process things differently, and I've done a few podcasts about that. I'm going more in depth into that, how we process things differently, so then we can learn in that way that we process differently for it to affect us better. And we've got to realise the belief, the assumptions, the values we made up in the past to make life seem easier for us, from, in a sense, coming up with beliefs about why things are the way they are. instead of facing them head on, instead of really working on of improving them. And now here's a little story of that. So I improved my English like 500% more in 1 year, and I thought it was very good and good. Now, I couldn't read for more than 20 minutes at a time. My spelling was still bad, but yeah, I still improved it a lot more. And I was still improving it. I was still working on improving. There's a lot of dogs here. Sorry, looking around, there's a lot of dogs. Yeah, they're sniffing. Anyway, I improved it a lot more, but here's the thing. I never believed I could learn English. I thought I understood how my mind works, I understood these limitations I set upon myself. But this guy said that you can learn to read in 2.5 hours. I thought, no you can't, that's not true. And he said, yes you can with this method. And then he was showing me this method. I didn't believe it, and then I decided to actually use it. I used it the first time, this took 2.5 hours. So it didn't work, Craig, because I didn't really put in the effort. And this person's Craig said, no Theo, go for it again and use what you learn. I went for it again. And guess what? It worked. It didn't just work like I improved it. It worked like I could read like a person that wasn't dyslexic. I could read like a person that's going through every single syllable, really struggling with all the words. That's what I had been doing for years. I remember after doing the course, I read like 3 times more than I ever read before. Like, difficulty of words. And then the next day I got up and I read for an hour straight. Total comprehension, enjoying it. So it was a hard book. And I read 20 pages. That's like 5 times more than I ever read in my life. I think actually 4 times more. So I in one seating with complete comprehension. At most I could read 5 pages without getting tired or exhausted or fatigued. This time I read 20 pages instantly. And not like the words like struggled. The words flew out at me. I looked at a word, I could see it and I could understand it. There's dogs saying hello to each other right here. They're jumping around. But I could see it and I understand it. And here's my point. Is that I didn't believe it was possible. But I took the leap of faith, and you know what? It was possible. Now after the 4 months after I read that book within a month, first book I ever read, 4 months, I read 4 books, and I gave it to 2 of my friends. One of those friends read their first book ever in a month. The other of my friends thought it was amazing and recommended it and gave it to like a sister. It's after this person called Ray on the phone call now. Little Zoom live thing I'm doing. And the reason why I'm saying this, well, there's 2 reasons. One, I want to give you the opportunity because I want to get, this will change the dyslexia industry, I promise you, but I want you to message me. I want to talk to you. If you're struggling with reading, if you know someone, if you have children struggling with reading, send them my way, and because this program works for young and old. I want to have a conversation. All I want to do is just talk about this amazing experience I've had that worked for me, it's worked for so many other people, and I want to have it work for you as well. So send me a message and I'm happy to schedule completely, obviously free, call to talk about it. First reason. Second reason is to challenge what you think you know. Challenge what you think you know about your abilities. Because mine got challenged. The biggest thing now is getting people to believe that it works. I say it to people when they don't understand it works. Because my biggest challenge, because if I said, this program, it takes 2 years, you can massively improve it by this method, and there's all this science backed, go, okay, that works. But this method, people don't believe it can work nearly as much. It's going to rain here a lot. So guys, that's my message to you, is to challenge what you think you know about your abilities. And guys, I hope to see you all again soon. Take care, farewell, and if you're interested in this magical reading method that I tried, and it transformed my reading, message me, and I'll have a good conversation about you and help you in any way I can. Guys, take care and bye.